enthusiastic Tuesday night audience participation. It's a really easy one. You don't have to learn a lot of words. I let you go easy on the last one, which normally has a sing-along at the end. So this is a story about my dog, whose name is Doug, and I. We went down to the water line to have a little picnic. And we had our little 50s style red and white checkered blanket and a woven picnic basket. It was pretty hipster kind of picnic. We had loads of great food, chocolate, some really fine wine, and the best dog biscuits that money can buy. And we were just sitting there enjoying our picnic when Doug looked up at me and started laughing a little bit. And I said, "What's so funny?" And he said, "You've got a beard." And I said, "That's strange because you've got a mustache." We were developing strange psychedelic patterns on our faces. But what it turned out to be, to make a long story short, is that we were suffering from ants having accosted our picnic. They were crawling on the food and crawling up us and crawling onto our faces and making strange designs. And initially we were horrified and thought, we've got to go home. But then we settled down a bit and thought, well, you know, we've probably crushed their multiplex facility and cinema down below. Let's let them enjoy our picnic with us. And we had quite a good day then. And later on, back at home, we wrote this song, which has just a sort of tiny relation to this whole story. It's called Why Dogs Howl at the Moon Part 1. Oh! And if you imagine that this sound is the sound of the ants coming to accost our picnic.
Down on a line of ants like we were gods. They seemed to be so strong, preoccupied, and man, so busy. A little bit like you, said Doug. Like, when was the last time you looked up at the stars and realized how small and narrowly focused you really are? So I asked him, is that why dogs howl at the moon? 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 Then Doug bent down and licked up a few of those ants, leaving a river of spit for the others to contend with. Those others, they just marched around without even a pause, as if nothing at all had happened. Doug swallowed and said, "Hey, that's funny, they don't taste at all like my food. And since it's all that they've been eating, you'd certainly think that they would." "Yes, you'd think that they would," I agreed. "You'd certainly think that they would." And then I asked him, is that why dogs howl at the moon? 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 Then later as we drove together on over the 405, I saw out on the horizon this line of tiny cars. From Trader Joe's downtown, they stretched all the way into the hills. And I said to Doug, "Now, isn't that funny? What does that remind you of? Isn't it just like those ants moving from your dog bowl into their anthill?" Doug said, "Yeah, maybe, but no, it's not funny, and you're missing one thing entirely." Said, "At least those ants, they're not making a giant carbon footprint. See, at least those ants, they're not making a giant carbon footprint." So I asked those ants, is that why dogs howl at the moon? Is that why dogs howl at the moon? Is that why dogs howl at the moon? Is that why
Fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone.